Hello and welcome to another episode of the e-commerce coffee break. Today we want to talk about an interesting combination of artificial intelligence and deep tech. So what does that mean? Now, most of the shops nowadays know that video is very important to convert business, to attract customers. Obviously, also personalization is very important as a multiplier on top of that, but how do you combine that? Now, there's some interesting ways on how to deal with that, and therefore I have Debarshi with me. He's one of the founders of Maverick at trymaverick.com, a startup that uses AI-generated deepfakes to help e-commerce brands create personalized videos at scale for their customers. So let's dive a little bit into this topic, and I say hello to Debarshi. How are you today?
Doing well. Thanks so much for having me, Klaus.
Debarshi, give me a bit of a background. What got you into e-commerce? What got you into AI?
Happy to share. So I guess kind of the origin story starts really almost 10 years ago when my co-founder and I met. So my co-founder and I met at Pocket Gems, which is a mobile gaming company here in San Francisco, and then reconnected at this point, I think probably 3.5 years ago. Discovered that we'd both always wanted to start a company, realized that we really loved working together, and so kind of started working together on ideas back then. We went through, oh boy, let me tell you, so many ideas. We probably launched and killed like over 20 different things before landing on Maverick. And kind of what happened there was after launching and killing so many things, we're like, okay, let's like focus on an area where we like have some expertise, have some knowledge, and are really excited. So after failing for basically 2 years, you start to empathize with the entrepreneur a lot, right? You're like, hey, you know how hard it is to start a business, so let's talk to other people who are starting businesses. So we ended up focusing on e-commerce businesses. My co-founder, who's from Bolivia, had actually run a Shopify store for a while where he was importing alpaca goods like sweaters, hats from Bolivia to the United States. So we're like, okay, let's talk to Shopify merchants and e-commerce merchants specifically. And we kind of combined that with some of the work that I had done in artificial intelligence developed content and generated content. So I launched an app that was called Quoth. It would basically take a picture and identify what was in the picture and match it with a relevant quote. So had some like exciting knowledge about AI and content, and those two paths kind of merged. We ended up kind of blending e-commerce and AI to create Maverick.
Okay, sounds great. Now, video is the most engaging form of content right now. Everything is moving towards video. It becomes more and more important. And a lot of merchants are already using video in one or the other form. And I highly recommend to have video even on a product detail page, but you can go further. The other big topic right now, and you see that all over the place, is personalization. You want to make your shopping experience or the shopping experience of your customer as personalized as possible to give them sort of a white glove service. Now, how can you combine these two things together?
Yeah, totally. So this was kind of one of the insights that led us to Maverick. We were talking to a bunch of e-commerce merchants, and we saw that some of them did this like really interesting behavior where they would, for every order that they got, they'd pick up their phone and they'd record a video like, "Hi, Klaus, my name is Debarshi. I'm the founder of XYZ. Thanks so much for purchasing." And the merchants we talked to were like, "Hey, this is by far the most engaging piece of content that I can make. The customer loves that I'm like recording it for them. I'm calling them out by name. But once you get past like 5 orders a day, 10 orders a day, you can't like spend all your time recording videos, right?" And so this was kind of the seed that led us to Maverick. We're like, hey, what if there was a way to allow merchants to retain that kind of personalized, authentic, like video message feel while allowing them to scale it as well and kind of have that kind of personalized touch point over video with every customer. And so what we landed on Maverick basically uses AI to kind of generate those videos.
Okay, I have seen this on photos. I have seen that you basically have a photo that you send out with your order confirmation form, and then the team is holding a sign up when the customer's name is in there. Now, photo is one level. Getting something done like this in video, completely different level. So tell me, how does it work? Coach me through the process.
Yeah, totally. It's actually we've tried to make it like pretty easy and streamlined for an e-commerce merchant to get up and running. Basically, we just need three things. So number one, you like record a video that's whatever the messages that you want to send. So let's say you're recording a video to recover an abandoned cart, and so it'd be like, hey there, saw that you left some items in your cart. Here's a discount code for your purchase. Would really love to have you as a customer, something like that. So you record that base video. And then the second thing that you record is a 15-minute audio script that we provide you. And that basically allows us to take your voice, take the audio, and then personalize the video. And so what we'll do is we'll actually like take the audio, generate it, put it in the video, generate the video frames to match. So like the mouth moves to match the name that's said, and it actually looks like the person is recording that live. And that's basically how the video is generated. And it's really just those two pieces. And then the third thing we kind of need is just a hookup to whatever CRM you're using, so we can kind of see when orders are coming in or carts are getting abandoned, and then can just generate and send the videos to your customers. So it's really just those three things.
Okay, you just explained a possibly very technical, challenging tasks in very simple words, which I like a lot. So now we're talking about AI-generated deepfakes. I think that's like sort of the name that is out there. Now, if you implement that into your store, I mean, one or the other merchant might be a bit scared of one of a sudden his voice, basically his video, his pictures is out there and doing things they never said. Have you done any kind of testing? What was the response from people seeing this for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And these were some of the concerns that we initially had when we started the company as well. We're like, are people going to think this is weird? Like, are people not gonna like these? And we've found so far, at least, and we've sent a few 100,000 of these videos at this point. We've found that people are generally like pretty open to the idea on the merchant side. I think we only use the merchant's information, like their voice, their image, like for this very specific purpose. Like we're never going to use it to generate anything outside that purpose. And then on the customer side, we found that first of all, people are delighted when they receive these videos. They're like, wow, I can't believe that you actually reached out to me and like sent me a video calling me out by name. And then sometimes people do realize it's a deep fake. Sometimes people like watch the videos and they're like, wait, something's a little off. Like, but by and large, what we've seen is the people that recognize that it's a deep fake are then like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Like, I know you didn't make it just for me, but it's still really cool. And I'm glad that you're like trying something creative. So that's kind of the response that we've seen.
Okay, you said you have already done a couple of 100,000 of these. So what's the general experience from your side, how a video like this should be structured? So the kind of style of video that should be presented in this.
Yeah. So we found that kind of like the most what's the word I'm looking for? You want something that doesn't feel overproduced. Like you want something that really just looks like, hey, I like picked up my phone, like recording a message just for you. Because I think I think that's what customers want also. Like they love seeing the faces behind the brand in some kind of real way, instead of something that feels like overly produced. And so that's one thing that we've seen. Short and sweet, I think, is always good. Like kind of keeping the message to like maybe 20-30 seconds, I think can really help just get customers to watch the entire video. And then like kind of typical kind of like e-commerce like things such as, hey, for an abandoned cart, like offer a discount code within the video, and like that'll convert higher. Things like that we've really seen work really well.
Okay. Now you talked about abandoned carts. There's many other touch points on a customer's journey. In which kind of touch points would you recommend to use a tool like yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think Look, I think that customers really just appreciate that personal touch throughout their journey, right? Like from the moment they hear of you, like till they've like been a customer with your store for years, made like dozens of purchases. And that's what we've seen as well. So we've kind of seen merchants use Maverick throughout the customer journey. Specific touch points are like, when someone signs up for your mailing list, when somebody abandons a cart right after they make their first purchase. If they haven't purchased in a while, maybe you haven't seen them in 60 days or 90 days, like sending a video as part of like a win back campaign. For loyalty program signups, we've kind of seen merchants use it across the journey.
Okay. Now, talking about integration, obviously it's integrating in Shopify. Which other kind of apps do you integrate with, like Klaviyo, or how does that work? From where do you pull the data?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've kind of built the product in a way that it's pretty straightforward to integrate with really any CRM. As long as the CRM has the ability to send some sort of notification to Maverick, like whether that's through an automated email or say a webhook that that you can configure on the CRM side, then we can support it on our end. And on top of that, we do have a Shopify app as well that merchants can go and download to get the process started.
Okay. I want to know a little bit about how long does it take to produce a video? Where's the video hosted? So from the technical infrastructure, how does that work?
Yeah, cool. I love it. I love that we're getting in depth on the tech side here. So on the technical side, videos kind of take on the merchant side, maybe 30, 45 minutes to produce. Like, hey, you've got your 15-minute script recording, and then you've got like your 30-second video, but maybe you do a couple takes. Maybe you want to do multiple touch points across the journey, so you film a few videos. We see that process typically takes about 45 minutes for a merchant. And then once the videos are sent over to us, typically it takes a few days to a week to get a merchant kind of up and running. And that's, hey, we've processed and generated all of the videos. We are integrated with the merchant CRM, with the store's CRM. About a week there. And to your question about like, hey, where are the videos hosted? That's actually, I'm really glad you asked me that. So today they're primarily hosted on a Maverick website. So it's a landing page that we build that a brand can customize with their logo and brand colors and other branding. But we're actually in the middle of building a feature that allows stores to embed the videos directly on their sites as well. So then your customer will go directly to your site and kind of watch the video.
Okay, no, that sounds great. From the production perspective, what kind of technical knowledge or equipment does the merchant have? Is a webcam good enough? Is a cell phone good enough? What kind of idea?
We wanted to make it so that pretty much any merchant could record a video. You don't need like a fancy studio setup or anything. Just a cell phone, like just any phone with a decent camera is more than good enough to film the videos. And again, we kind of recommend that because that kind of feels the most like it gives a direct connection to the brand. It doesn't feel like you sat in a studio. It's like, hey, I picked up my phone and I recorded a message for you.
Okay, no, sounds great. I want to go a little bit wider away from a store because you're so much on the topic. I want to know what's your kind of outsider, what's your prediction? How will AI generated deepfakes change the landscape of marketing in general, or e-commerce marketing?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we talk about quite a bit. I think that like the really nice thing about kind of AI generated content is it kind of opens up the ability to create like visual content, audio content, even text content. And it opens that up to people who like don't have art skills, don't have design skills, like me, for instance, right? So you have on the visual side, you have libraries like DALL-E 2 and Stable Diffusion that like allow you to generate art, even if you're not an artist. You've got GPT-3 that like will write marketing and copy for you. And so I think that kind of AI generated content is really making this process a lot easier for people who like don't have the underlying skills around content creation. And I think this is just going to continue. I think it's going to get easier and easier to make different types of content. We're focused on the video side, obviously, so we're trying to make it easier to make kind of personalized video content. Yeah, so I think it's just going to like help democratize this over time.
Okay. Now a lot of these digital dinosaurs like me will then be out of a job. At least I don't need to.
I mean, I think we're always going to need like humans to, have like the eye who can actually, direct the models, pick the best outputs, things like that. I think you're always going to need that.
Who's your perfect customer? So which kind of merchants do you have experience with?
Yeah, totally. So we try to serve brands kind of like across the spectrum in terms of revenue. The one thing that we do see is that it typically takes a sufficient level of volume before you really start seeing value from Maverick. Like if you're only getting like say 3-5 orders a day, like you're probably not going to have enough volume to see value from Maverick. Like if you really want to do this, hey, you might actually just want to like pick up your phone and record a message. But we see like, kind of when stores crack like the 500K in annual revenue mark, like that's kind of when Maverick really starts to kick in and provide a lot of value for them. And then we've worked with customers like up to like 50, 100 million a year in revenue as well. So like kind of the spectrum there is a good customer for Maverick. I will say that most of our customers are probably in like the 1 to 25 million range today.
Okay. Do you have any kind of numbers on how the positive impact of your solution is on conversion rates, on revenue increase?
Yeah, 100%. So this is something that we track really closely. Like we firmly believe that the only way for us to succeed is if we help the brands we work with, connect with their customers better, actually generate more revenue from these videos. And so we pay a lot of attention to that. Kind of what we've seen is that from an ROI perspective, brands that are kind of like up and running with revenue generating use cases, they'll see like between 10 to 30x ROI on the videos that they're sending. So hey, for every dollar you spend with Maverick, you get $10 in revenue. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. And then if you track like email engagement rates, if that's important to you, we typically see like 3 to 5x higher than kind of the base campaigns that merchants are running in terms of things like open rate, click rate, engagement on the page, things like that. That's kind of what we're seeing today.
Okay, these are some very impressive numbers, and it shows that video is quite important in nowadays landscape. Yeah. Now, give me a bit of an idea on your pricing. Obviously, it's not for free. So how do you structure your pricing?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we do kind of a monthly subscription fee that is based on 2 things really. Number 1 is volume, and number 2 is like number of use cases or like touch points in the customer journey. And so if you're like trying to send like everywhere across your customer journey, like going to be a different price based on the volume that you're sending. Our packages start at $100 a month. That's kind of on the low end, and then we'll scale pricing to kind of meet what makes sense volume-wise past that. So $100 a month, monthly subscription. Actually, for anyone who's listening to this podcast, if they want to just mention the podcast and talk to us, we're happy to give the first month free also for that $100 a month.
Okay, I appreciate that. So just eCommerce coffee break, and then you get a bonus there. One question or one thing that I want to know from you, you're doing this now for a while and you're deep in this topic. One golden nugget that you would tell someone who comes new to the topic of AI generated content.
Yeah, and I I would actually tie the like AI generated content like back to kind of the core needs of the brand and the customer, right? Like I think one of the great things about online shopping is it's super convenient, right? Like it's really easy. You just go on a website, click a couple of buttons, like the thing shows up at your door the next day or 2 days from that. But we've lost a lot of that personal touch. Like we've lost, hey, you show up to a store, you like talk to someone who works there about the different products, like get recommendations. Like we've lost that, and that's kind of the gap that Maverick is trying to fill, like helping brands create that personal connection with their customers. And we think that AI generated content kind of lets you deliver that personalized experience that is like, hey, I'm not just an order confirmation number, I'm actually a person and I'm talking to someone in the store. AI helps you do that, but at scale across all of the customers that are visiting you.
Okay, cool. Where can people find more about you?
Yeah, so visit us at trymaverick.com. That's TRYMAVERICK.com. And you can also find us on the Shopify App Store.
Okay, sounds great. I was on your website. I will put also a link in the show notes. I had a look at the different examples that you have there, and it's quite impressive. So I would only recommend to go there and get your feeling, if you're listening to this, on how it works. It's quite impressive. Debarshi, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate giving us an insight in this very new topic and into your solution, and talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Klaus.
Hey, Klaus here. Before you go, I would like to invite you to become part of the e-commerce merchant pro community to get actionable advice from other Shopify merchants who already have achieved what you are aiming for. Our community is a safe place to actively grow your online retail business with the support of the most amazing and helpful group of e-commerce entrepreneurs behind you. Running a Shopify business is tough. Don't do it alone. Join us now. You will find the link in the show notes. Also, if you think your online store has conversion or marketing issues and you would like to have a fresh set of eyes on your business, then drop me an email at klaus@klauslauter.com and let me know a little bit about your business. It might be beneficial for you to have me look over your store, offers, emails, and ads and get an unbiased outside perspective and guidance to help you make most of your online business. Thank you as always for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Until next time, and I talk to you soon.